YouTube. Been a while. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me asking, Beard, how'd you get the camera to look so good on the stream? How do you go about making a webcam or a GoPro pick up all the details of ATS? Because one thing that I struggled with when I was first setting up the GoPro and even the webcam was the darkness and the depth of the camera or the screens, right? So actually Armstrong helped me with this, and he said, you know, that he could put a video out, but everything's different. So I want to put this video out, and I have a GoPro Hero 5 Black behind me. That's what I'm using to display my triple monitors. So I'm going to go over a few things on how you could dial your camera in to make it look more realistic. First thing is, this is what it would look like if you just put the GoPro up behind you, and you can kind of see like the colors are bleeding right here. It's not one solid blue. This color looks brighter over here than this color does, and then this one looks good because you're actually getting you're pointing directly at this monitor. So there's going to be no reflection there. You don't get as much of a reflection as you would if you were on, let's say, TVs. TVs, there's a lot of reflection, so this does not apply to TVs because I've never set it up for TVs. So for my 32-inch, my triple 32-inch monitors, this is the settings that I have. This would be as if I put the GoPro up and just hit go live. The first thing you want to do is, if you have a GoPro, is download the GoPro Quick app, which is going to be this one. And so the first thing that I would do is I would put my white balance at 6500, which is what mine's currently at. That gives you more of a natural color. Probably shouldn't have had a dip in doing this video. I got my Pro Tunes on, my video stabilization, and I got it on the color. Now this is for the Hero 5, so anything above that, I have no idea. Now you can adjust it based off of what you think that it might. I mean, I can only speak for what I know, right? So if you go from this color right here, everything looks washed out to me. There's no depth in it. Like, you can see the tablet is a standalone. You can see the phone's a standalone. The Stream Deck, all that. You can tell that it's. You can just tell that it doesn't look like it flows in there. So here's what I did. I done 6500 on my white balance. My color is GoPro color. My ISO. Here's where you start getting into the nitty gritty. Is you want to take your ISO and you want to move it down to 400. Let me show you on this. So 400 automatically pulls and starts making those blacker colors more vibrant, or more they jump out to you. So look, this is how it would normally look. This is how it looks on 400. 400, it already looks fantastic. And what I did was I just put a background picture up of me sitting in a truck, and I adjust off of this. The very first thing you want to do is cut every single light off in your game room. You want to adjust to the monitor. You do not want to adjust with lights on. You're not adjusting to yourself. You're not adjusting to a tablet. You're not adjusting to the phone. You are adjusting to the monitor itself. And I say that because, just like Mark said, the only thing that's going to change is you. The monitors are going to be the same every single time. So cut all your lights off, adjust that monitor. So right now we're on 400. Got my sharpness on high. And don't worry about none of the audio. I got it on 12 megapixels and I got it on medium. But this right here is going to change depending on where your camera is located at. Like where mine is, you can see how close mine is. Mine is literally right at my shoulder, perfectly eye level with me, just off to the right just a little bit. That's how I got mine set up. All right, here's the next part. Okay, I'm back. So the first thing you want to do in order to get this to look correct is, let me minimize this just a little bit. We'll open up the GoPro, and you'll be able to see it's here. So the first thing that I do is I click on my GoPro and I add a filter. First filter I add is going to be a sharpen filter. So that's going to make everything look more vibrant in the game. I got that at 0.40. Next thing is going to be my color correction. And typically what I just done on my color correction was able to blend all this in is I pulled my gamma back to a negative 0.46. What that does is that makes my blacks darker, right? So if all my lights are off, that's what we're going to see. Then my color key. Only thing I added a color key just to be able to make these blues and stuff pop. You see how good the screens look? This is with no lights on me, right? So what I do is, now that I know my screens look awesome, that's my 3: sharpen, color correction, color key. Remember, color correction is where I adjusted my gamma to pull my blacks and make my blacks deeper and darker. Then I'll close that. That's the only thing I did. So we got the GoPro app where we done ISO max at 400, sharpen at high, white balance at 6500. That's about as close to, I'm giving you all exactly what I see right here. Other than I darkened it down a little bit and made my blacks more vibrant. That way, anything that has light to it pops. So what I do after that, since that's done, is I cut my light on. I got an Elgato light over top of me, which I'm going to add one over the back so you can see the steering wheel. And I pull up, and like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. What I did is I pulled up my Elgato and I cut my brightness all the way up to 100. That's about as natural of a color as I can get. And I got it pulled all the way down because of a little bit of the saturation that I have added into the game. So like I said before, adjust to the screens. It took me 2 weeks and the help from Armstrong Gaming to get mine dialed in. The hardest part with it is if you don't add the correct filters and like I said, the webcam, this one right here is a Razer Kyo Pro. This one I didn't get dialed in as much as I did the GoPro. But this has everything that the GoPro has. But I didn't really understand it as much until I talked to Armstrong. So just remember, adjust to your screens. Make your screens look as natural as you can. Then you can add the light to yourself. Just like what I did when I went into here was a lot of people, what they'll do, and it's totally up to you because it's going to be your stream. It's going to be your whatever you want. A lot of people will dim their screens down. And the reason why they do that for is you can get all the minor details within, like the clouds and the trucks. But here's what I did. I brightened them up and I adjusted to how bright that screen is. And I pulled that ISO and that gamma down to this looks exactly like it does on the screen. Now, once you add the sharpness, you can kind of see right here on the screen how that kind of looks jagged. It's because I have sharpness on it. But when it's moving, you can't really tell it. Do I wish I could get away from that? Absolutely, I do, because on my screen, it's not like it's straight. But in order to get the details, the small details that I wanted, like being able to look at this building and tell the difference in that building, that's the only way that I could do it. And I'll show you what it looks like without sharpness. So give me just a second. GoPro, we'll cut our filters off. So here's my sharpness. Now you can kind of see it's still a little jagged, and that's just because you're recording from a GoPro off of a screen. So it's going to kind of look like that, but look at the difference in the sharpness. Like the detail, the amount of detail is there. Like even over here on the side where the chrome is, if you watch, here's sharpness off. Everything just looks dull. And here's the sharpness on. Like all my reflections and stuff looks more realistic than what they would had I not been running that sharpness tool. So what I would highly suggest is if you're going to record from a GoPro or a webcam off to a screen, is start with your monitors bright, adjust your camera to that, and then add light around you. Before, when I wasn't adjusting, this is what I had my brightness set to. So it was only set to 10%. See, that looks pretty good right here, right? But once you go into here, you can't even see me because I've got it darkened down so much. So adjust the light to you and not your screens. You watch that light. So all the way down, the screen never changes, boys. So that's one thing to remember. Once you adjust to these, you adjust the lighting to fit you. That's the easiest way, the quickest way that I can make this video to show you all. It's not hard. It's just knowing exactly what you got to do to make it look good. If you enjoyed the video, guys, be sure to throw a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. We're so close to 1,000. I appreciate y'all. If there's anything else y'all want to see, like the sim dashboard, building the sim dashboard, and how we got everything set up, let me know in the comments below, because I got a video coming out about how I use sim dashboard. Everybody's different. Then we got a video coming out of adding the button box once we receive it. So if you all like the video, like I said, don't forget to throw a big thumbs up on the video, smack that subscribe button, and I'll catch you all in the next one.